All right. Hi, everyone. We are back today with a little bit of a different video that we're going to bring to you guys. So instead of our usual updates that we've done separately as far as the progress is going with him, we decided we'd kind of cover some of the common questions that we're getting around, his diagnosis, the symptoms that he had, and then really talk about why we decided to do this in the first place. We've had a lot of trouble keeping up with the comments and the messages. We're doing the best that we can, but it's a lot. And so this way we can try to cover as much as possible. And then I promise I am going to try to go back and answer them. And I know he is too, right?
Trying, yes. Yeah.
And he really loves these videos. So
I love these videos.
So yeah. But okay, so diagnosis. He was officially diagnosed about 2 years ago.
2 years, yeah.
And the symptoms that started setting things off in my mind, like something is not right, were probably about 3 to 3.5 years ago. Just those little things that my nursing intuition and my background were like, something is off. But, nobody was giving us any answers. And, I'm not really surprised. But the official diagnosis was about 2 years ago. And looking back, the diagnosis was a blessing. If that even makes any sense to anybody out there. I think because we had dealt with so many non-motor symptoms in our marriage for 10 plus years. So, I mean, now that's probably about 12 years ago, things started. So, those non-motor skills, the smell, I was like, why can't you smell anything?
Couldn't smell anything. Yeah.
And I would be
always
so
just
frustrated.
thought it was allergies. Yeah.
Yes. But now it makes sense. The depression started. I mean, I can look back and kind of pinpoint like when I really started noticing certain things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, now it makes sense.
ADHD.
The ADHD diagnoses and, them prescribing him all these different medications. Now you must be depressed. And, the apathy and all of those things that were really hard on a marriage. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so this is what was going on so long. So it was kind of nice to have some answers, and so we could really hit it head on and dive deep into how we're going to fix it. Now that we know what it is, let's try to fix it. But something that people keep asking, and I can talk to, but I'll let him kind of jump in, is the symptoms, because obviously he's the one with Parkinson's, so he can talk to it better than me.
Yep. So yeah, I know we're all different there, and that's one question we keep getting asked over and over, and so that's a big part of what we're trying to do today is kind of back up and give you more of a background on me and us and what we're doing. And I'll start with the symptoms. For me, the big ones are like the stiffness, the achiness. Those are probably two of my bigger ones where it's like I struggle to get up from the couch. I struggle to stand from a seat. Struggle to get out of bed. Just that achy discomfort that many of you probably know that we experience with this disease. That's kind of all day, every day. It's just there in some way or another. Some days it's better, some days it's worse. Fatigue is a huge one for me too. Like just not having the energy to be active, to do things with the kids. I still go to the gym every day. I walk almost every day. But sometimes it's harder for me to keep a good pace or have the stamina to get through a workout and have an effective workout, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does.
But I just, I feel like energy's been a big one. I'm constantly feeling this need to sit, to lay down, to rest throughout the day. I wake up tired and I go to bed tired. That's been a big one for me. Pain. And I know that's something you've had kind of concerns with.
But that actually, I forgot to mention that started years ago when we're like, what's wrong with your neck? What's wrong with your shoulder? Let's get an MRI. And nobody could figure anything out. But people say that pain is not a part of Parkinson's. But I say, yes, it absolutely is, especially in the young onset community. I don't have Parkinson's, obviously, but I've seen many people talk about it and we've dealt with you. And 100% pain. To me, pain is definitely one of your biggest issues that you were dealing with.
Yeah, just that shoulder, hip pain are the big ones for me.
Yeah.
So that, other symptoms, dystonia, I get that at a fast pace. Again, another factor in why I haven't been able to run as much. That usually sets off about 15 minutes into a walk or run, and sometimes it's harder to get under control. Mood, that's been a big one. I think that is definitely a result of all the other symptoms. Sometimes just not being able to do things you were once able to do can kind of chip away at you a little bit and frustrate you. And I think that frustration leads to kind of getting down a little bit at 42, not being able to be as active as I was at 39 or 40 can be frustrating. So I definitely say that the mood stuff has been a big issue as a result of all these symptoms just impacting my life as a young father of 3 kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, that's it. That's all the symptoms I have.
Are you sure there's not more?
Oh, and the tremor, yeah. But the tremor,
yeah.
That's something we really don't put too much weight on. I think as somebody who has the disease, I do understand it's a lot of things. And I think sometimes we just give too much attention to the tremor. You say the word Parkinson's to somebody, they just think tremor. But it's a lot of things,
so
and
more.
I think our approach, and we'll get more into that over the last 2 years, is just finding ways to manage individual symptoms one by one. And I guess what we're doing now is kind of in line with that, just trying to find more ways to do so.
Yeah. One thing we didn't talk about too is it affected your dominant side, which
Yeah, lucky me.
sucks.
Yeah.
For lack of better words.
Yeah.
It's he had to teach himself how to use his left hand. I mean, eating and everything. It's been pretty
Like
crazy.
flipping a spatula or like just random things like that, stirring, like all the things that you don't realize how much you do with that hand and
Yeah.
until you don't have it anymore. So I've just gotten so used to using my left hand for everything, but
I know, but
yeah.
it's getting better.
Yeah, over the last since we started this, I mean, I feel like that's definitely improved quite a bit. I'm
Yeah.
using it every meal. I'm more mindful to use it, and
It's really exciting to see that, actually.
yeah. So those have been my symptoms. We'll get more into what's improved on those symptoms, but I just wanted to kind of give you an overview over the last 2 years. Those are the symptoms that I've experienced the most with this disease.
Yeah. And you know what? Just to kind of add on to that, with like the videos I've been making and especially that first one when I was just like stunned when I saw how he was after day 1 on the microdosing.
I haven't even watched your videos yet.
I know. They're great.
Really?
No. You get used to your husband or your spouse, whatever the situation is, you get used to this new normal, right? You mourn the loss of what you used to have and you just move on and this is what you deal with. We were managing it. We thought we were managing it great. I mean, without using any pharmaceuticals, he was able to live. Did he miss out on things? Yes. Was he still tired? Yes. Did he still have some issues? Of course. I'm not saying that, but we did find a way to do it in a natural way. But what I have learned this past week is that you never really know what you're missing until you have it back. And that there's no truer statement out there. And so that's kind of what we've been dealing with. I'm like, wow, this whole new Joe that's coming back, and it's really exciting. And I think I'm really glad that we decided to do this for everybody. Whether you agree with what we're doing or not, I think it's important. And Joe's mindset through all of this has been so incredible. And if you don't know him, to know him is to truly love this guy. And I really do mean that, because from day 1, when we left the neurologist office after getting that diagnosis, we were holding hands and driving in silence. And he looks over at me and he said, you know what? God is going to use this for good. There is a purpose in all of this. And wow, I mean, and it's true. God did have a purpose, and now we're using that purpose to help other people, because
That's not something I would say normally.
no,
either.
my gosh, no. But we're doing this because we're on a journey. We are on a journey to help others find hope and healing. And I really do mean that from the bottom of my heart. We had to go at this completely by ourselves. We knew right away, absolutely not, we were not going to go the pharmaceutical route. And that is not saying that you're bad if you do. That's just saying that was our choice. And we had this conviction, and nothing was going to change that. And so the research started. I started getting certified in cannabis and board certified in integrative and functional nutrition. I did everything I could to further my knowledge I already had in healthcare so I could help him. And we found that way, and we found that path. But there's nothing out there. There's nothing out there for anybody to be like, okay, who can I talk to? What resources are there for me? You might find a couple blurbs on some websites about eat better and make sure you exercise and maybe a couple supplements, but there's nobody to really dive deep, that we found, at least. And if there are somebody out there, I love it. Good. I want to meet them. But we really feel like this is lacking. And so we're here to share our story with you, whether it's good or bad. And
yeah, I mean, that was that. Not to cut you off, that was
Thanks.
a big thing for me personally. Getting the news of the diagnosis, I feel like just getting the one option when I left that neurologist wasn't enough for me. I needed at least to understand what other options I had. When we started looking, it's like there's nowhere to turn. It was just that one option. That was it. So I think personally, from the patient perspective, I've kind of got a little frustrated. I'm lucky to have Courtney, who understands this stuff and can kind of dig in more, because I'm not medically intelligent at all. I'm like a moron when it comes to this stuff. But yeah, I think most people out there don't have that, and I think we have an interest in pursuing this route. So together, me, I'm curious, you're capable. So, as a husband and wife, we just feel like we have a lot to share and a lot to give to this community. And
yes,
that's what we're trying to do through all of this.
And, I've seen a couple of you have commented, and I'm just like, yes, you get it. About, all of this time and energy and effort has gone into the pharmaceutical route. But nobody is putting in the time and energy and effort into this route. When do we hear about clinical trials, we hear about the plant medicine and things like that, but has anybody actually come out and said, I tried it, this is what happened to me? No, they haven't. I have never heard, and I used to do clinical trials in oncology eons ago, but you don't ever hear from the patients that are a part of those trials. And so I'm like, you know what? He's going to be my guinea pig. And he's been my guinea pig for over 2 years now, and that's fine. We're making it work. He's my N of 1. And we are playing with the dosages. We are documenting everything so we can come to you. I mean, I think somebody asked me, why up the dose if it was working at that 100 milligrams? Because we want to see, does he get even better if we up it? Do his motor skills improve even more? What about his mood? Pain, all of that. So you'll never know if we don't do it and tell you about it, whether it's good or bad. We're going to be transparent, and we would have given anything to have had access to this type of information and people that would be willing to talk to us. I mean, anybody that wants to talk to Joe or me, I mean, we're always open to do that. We're here to help. That was the basis of our nonprofit.
That's what I was going to touch on. Yeah.
See, great minds think alike.
I mean, we set up the nonprofit for that reason, just to help others go this route. And I think to us, like, we're doing it either way, but we just want to share it. So this is our personal journey. We're trying this out. We're exploring how it works, and we thought it would be helpful to share. I would love for these videos to have been available when we were kind of looking into it, and they weren't. So so this is all just our personal journey. We just want you to kind of understand how it impacts somebody with Parkinson's. There's a ton of studies out there. I suggest you kind of go and look into some of them, because
yes, and we'll post some stuff too, some amazing podcasts and different studies, etc. We'll try to start posting more information like that as well. But I mean, I don't know. It's just something we felt really compelled to do. And
yeah, I mean, it's not everybody's route, but it's our route. And I know that there's a lot of people out there just looking for answers, and we're just trying to be one of those voices in the fight and trying to help you get some answers. And
yes,
hopefully our end goal is to go to Mexico, try the Ibogaine, and over the course of the next 2 months, like, just really monitor the effects of both of these. We have a pretty extensive chart going for this route, and going to Mexico for Ibogaine. I'll start to talk more about that experience and what goes into that.
Yes.
But once I come back, I think we'll have some clarity on how they both work, and then we'll get more into our nonprofit and our goals with that.
And
from
our
there.
advocacy. That
Yes.
is, I mean, we have our four main pillars of our nonprofit, but advocating for access, that is a big part of our mission, and we are going to fight as hard as we can fight to make sure that if you want to have access to these things, then you should be able to. I mean, God gave them to us. They're plants on this earth. So when used correctly, if you want to be able to have access to these healing plants, you should be able to. And so stay patient with us. This is not something we can do right this second. We have to gather more data. But it is our mission, and we will start going after that as soon as we get back from Mexico. And yeah.
But for now, yeah, just be patient with us. Again, we're just kind of researching this ourselves right now. It's all new to us. We're just trying to get a better understanding of it, share it with you. But we're getting a lot of questions we unfortunately can't answer right now. Hopefully in time we will, but understand we're trying to create access to these things and trying to get a better understanding of them first so that we can speak to them better to be out there advocating and putting up the fight that we're pretty good at. So
Yes, yeah, we are.
yeah. So
All right, well, I think that's enough for now. So stay tuned. We're going to come back this week with more updates on his progress. And yeah, let us know if you have any other questions, and we'll talk soon. Bye. Thank you.